Hello, friends. I am Aman, and first of all, I want to wish all of you a very happy new year. So, this is a new series I'm starting, and this will be a long format video. And every week, I will share with you some interesting stories, some incidents of famous people from around the world. And at the end of the video, I'll share the learnings that we can imbibe in our life, the learnings that we can take away from these incidents, these stories. So let's start this series today with the story of Louis XIV. Louis XIV was a king of France during 1635 to 1715, I think. And during those times, there was a famous finance minister of France. His name was Nicolas Fouquet, and he had great ambitions. Nicolas Fouquet wanted to be a prime minister of France one day. So he always wanted to impress the king by doing various things. But one day, Louis XIV just got up one day and abolished the position of prime minister. This broke Nicolas Fouquet's heart. So he started to come up with things. He started to come up with plans that how can I impress the king so much so that he will start the position of prime minister again and he will install me as the new prime minister of France. And this was a perfect moment because his chateau or a palace or a home was already built. So he wanted to throw a lavish party, a lavish banquet in honor of Louis XIV. So he wanted to impress the king. He wanted this party to be remembered as the best party ever thrown in France. So he invited all the big people in the world. He invited best chefs, best cooks from the world. He even brought oriental chefs from China that were never seen before, the food that was never eaten before in France. His gardens were designed like it was never seen before in France. And there were dancers and performers from around the world. This was a party to be seen. And the king came. He was treated as the king should be treated. At the end of the day, there was big fireworks. And Nicolas Fouquet was confident that he has been able to impress the king. But the very next day, one of the three musketeers of Louis XIV, D'Artagnan, arrested Nicolas Fouquet. And he was arrested on the charges of embezzlement. But the truth was, he was actually embezzling from the treasury in the name of the king. Louis XIV himself told him to embezzle for him. But he was actually charged with all those embezzlement charges and thrown away for life. Now, what can we learn from this story? Well, Nicolas Fouquet was only thinking about himself. He did not show any empathy. And when we talk about empathy, we mean putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, thinking what somebody else would think. So if he would have thought thoroughly that if I will throw the greatest party on earth ever thrown, if I will show the king a palace that is even better than his own palace, if I'll show him the gardens, those are designed even better than the king's gardens himself, what would he think? He will, of course, feel jealousy. He will, of course, feel belittled. But Nicolas Fouquet failed to think that. And that's why he spent the rest of his life in jail. In fact, the writer Voltaire wrote that at the start of the evening, Nicolas Fouquet was at the top of the world. And by the end of that evening, he was at the bottom. So, next time, when you try to show off at your office place, at your business place, Try to think of others. Try to think specially of people who are above you in the power or in the position of power. Like let's say you are in a job, then never try to show off, even if you deservedly showing off. Still, don't show off in front of your bosses. If you are a business owner, don't show off in front of other business owners who are doing even better than you. Learn that. I hope you have liked this story. So please comment that how did you like this story and what kind of stories would you like me to share with you. That's all for today. See you next week.